we've made it. We're at the beginning of the Soho Loop and also the Icknield Port Loop over there, which Taz is going to tell us a bit about now.
Yeah, so Rotten Park Junction, as you call it, Icknield Port Loop. So the loops were the old main line canals. So originally James Brindley's line, they used to follow the lay of the land, and they were meandering canals, and they would just create these lovely loopy sections. But when Thomas Telford was employed to improve the canals, he just straightened them, and he built new canals and cut through and blast through valleys. So as the Golden Valley was further up, this is a straight line going there. That left the loops as redundant parts of the canal. So these are wonderful places now for your well-being, for me running and cycling, and it's quite unusual to have a circular walk on a canal as well. So this is great. So these bits have created circular walks and circular areas that we can paddle down or bike down if it allows us to. So today we're going to do the Soho Loop. It's about probably under 2 miles the loop, and you've got lovely spots, quite historic spots as well.
Fantastic. Let's get going.
So yeah, you lead the way.
These look like nice apartments.
Brand new apartments, yeah. New way of living, canal side.
So how often do you kind of walk this loop?
I try and do this once a week at least, you know, and it's always part of my start of my bike ride and end of my bike ride as well. So if I'm doing a bike ride on a Saturday morning, I'd leave home, come on the canal, get down to Bristol Road on the Blue Route, and then go off and explore southern parts of Birmingham, like Henley and Arden. But it'd always start on the canal for me and finish on the canal.
Yeah, it's a great resource, and as it's paved quite well, it's great for cycling, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I just love all the old kind of brickwork on the bridges and these kinds of...
grooves for the horses to get traction up the bridge. That's what they were made for.
Good for us.
Not for us.
Well.
Yeah.
Straight down, yeah?
Yeah, straight down. And then now you see a lot of the urban areas, you see graffiti, but there's also good bits of graffiti, you know, the street art that you enjoy, bits of colour that you appreciate. And there's a section here that I used to see quite often. Maybe it's been defaced now, but this was a nice bit of colour, little splash of colour down here.
I like the street art. It's I wish I had that kind of talent. I've never been very good at drawing. For me, it's always been writing, like the written word.
Yeah. But this, for me, when you're not having such a good day, if you're coming down on a walk, want to improve your well-being, seeing a bit of nature and wildlife, or seeing some amazing street art, does lift your well-being, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's good to just get away from the desk.
Yeah.
Or whatever kind of job you've got, and just, I find if you go for like a walk for about an hour, your mind, and you've got like a headache from work or something, you know, your mind will just ease off and relax.
That's right, yeah.
And that's what started me walking in the first place.
Yeah. This is a new bridge, and it's on Dudley Road. So the old Dudley Road Hospital, or City Hospital, is now no longer in action because they built a brand new hospital, the Midland Metropolitan Hospital. So this is now redundant. But this is improvements to the area, a brand new bridge, a new entrance here, all very new and nice liquor paint as well. Yeah, great for the people, residents living nearby. Great, quick way to get into the city. Don't have to catch a bus, walk down the canal, take a bike down the canal, or take a jog down the canal, and you're in Brindley Place in about 5 minutes.
It is good how close everything is.
So these bridges, you will see a lot of these on your paths. They carry the services. There might be electricity coming over the canal, it might be gas, you know, and on the towpath you might have fibre optics buried under here. So the canals are used in different ways now, and you know, we're you know, as a charity, you know, we're looking at ways where we can bring income in to keep the canal charity going as well. So these are new ways that we can get a little bit of income.
Yeah, it's good to get creative and think outside the box.
Yeah. Got the skyline of Birmingham there. You can see some of the famous buildings on that side. BT Tower and the brand new Octagon building.
Oh yeah. I love that smell of burning wood.
Mm.
So many people probably don't really appreciate the canal. It's like when I lived on the Isle of Sheppey, right on we had the beach all round, and when you live there you don't really go down there, you know.
Yeah, now you probably miss that, don't you?
Yeah,
So yeah, as you get older, you know, you regret you didn't take opportunities to go and explore more and spend time down there and create memories.
definitely.
Yeah. Back in the olden days, I'm talking about when I was a kid, we weren't allowed to come on the canals. We were told they're not safe and don't go down the canal. So as young children, we'd still find ways to get on the canal and then, you know, make some fishing rods with some paper cups or something and try and catch fish from the canal. And just spend time down here. And I don't know where when they were, I think in the 80s they were cleaned up and reopened again, but back in the 70s and early 80s, definitely we weren't allowed to go down to the canals. But look at it now, absolutely beautiful.
Are you guys at the trust, I suppose it's part of your job, isn't it, working to destigmatise inner city canals and the spaces here and get people using them?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, every canal and every section has its own challenges. Every canal is individual. But like you said, go out there and see them for yourselves, yeah?
Yeah.
And there's this stigma or still associated with it, or, you know, this perception that they're not safe. But you got people coming down. There's an eye hospital just there, and, you know, the staff can come down for 5 minutes and stand here and watch the ducks and just escape, right?
Yeah.
So here on Western Road Bridge, you got the eye hospital, the old city hospital, just here. So many people don't know that you can come down here and use this for your well-being.
It's really great. I wonder what those squares are for.
Do you remember I told you about the fire?
Oh yeah.
Do you?
Right.
Yeah. So there's an example. So all the bridges in Birmingham have these red windows which allow the fire service to open up with a special key, and they can drop their pipes down, suck up the water from the canal and go and rush to that fire. So that's a unique agreement. I don't know how old that agreement is, but it's still in place now. And every now and again they are being used in that way. Unfortunately, when they need water, they would have to, you know, take the water from the canal. So yeah, when you go on some bridges, you'll see that now, especially on the main roads.
It's interesting, that, isn't it? Little details like that, fantastic.
Yeah. So under the, watch your head, bit of a low bridge, but look at that. From a busy road up ahead to this peaceful oasis, you know, this green and blue corridor. So Chris, we are coming up to the Hockleyport moorings, and you're going to see a whole community of people living on boats here, hidden off the Soho Loop.
Oh, really?
And many people don't even know that this is here. You bring people and you think, wow, people live on the boats. Yes, they live on these boats. There's moorings here. They have electricity and water points. They have showers, and they've got an area to themselves. They've got a gated key access. So if they want to walk into the towpath, or they want to take the boat out to the city, maybe fill it up with diesel or get some fuel, they can bring out their narrow boats under this bridge here onto the Soho Loop and then onto the main line. So yeah, something to look forward to as we reach the top of this bridge.
I like the idea of having the freedom to kind of live on a boat and be able to travel the network like that.
Yeah, you can moor up and wherever you feel like that'll be your view for the evening, or that'll be your garden for the day.
Yeah, it's definitely, I can see why people do it. It's definitely an attractive possibility.
It's very appealing, isn't it? Yeah. So this is the old Hockleyport mooring branch, and we're going to go onto the top of the bridge and you'll be able to see the boats. It's not got a towpath, so we can't walk down there. But if we went to the Hockleyport mooring visitor entrance, there's a gate, and you can go in that way and see the other end of the moorings. It's quite a lot of space here for boats, so, and it's highly sought after mooring as well, so many people want to live here. It's being so close to the city as well, and you'll just be able to see some of those boats there moored now through these gaps.
So these are permanent moorings?
Permanent moorings, yeah.
It's a nice, nice spot down there.
So they've got the gated entrance there. They can get in and out as they want to, using their own key. If they're walking or if they're bringing their boat, they'll come under the tunnel and then onto the Soho Loop from here. You can see this canal carries on, and then it turns right, and then on that, when it turns, you've got moorings on both sides of the canal there, so you've got quite a lot of boats there. A lot of boats moored here.
Is it expensive to get a permanent mooring?
Yeah. But that's the way of life they've chosen, so, you know,
yeah,
it's probably a lot cheaper than bricks and mortar and owning a home, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's why many people are moving towards living on narrow boats.
Is that the Canal and River Trust that you pay, or is it private?
Some are private moorings, some are Canal and River Trust moorings, so, you know, wherever you will see on the network, marinas and vistas, and some will be private, some will say Canal and River Trust moorings, yeah. This one's one of our moorings, yeah.
The strange thing is, the Soho Loop has a different character to the main line going past it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even think it's connected.
Yeah. Well, it could be because, I don't know, maybe it's in age 50, 60 year difference between the canals, isn't it? Yeah, when they were improved.
That's true, yeah. 50 or 60 years. It's a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of money, a lot of investment. But you imagine that, you know, if you cut your journey time by 7 or 8 hours to get to Wolverhampton from Birmingham by using a straighter line, a straighter method, which means more money. More money, more products coming into Birmingham, right?
Yeah.
And more coal for the factories. Yeah. And the canal companies get richer and richer.
Are there many sort of pubs and places to stop along the main line?
There are on the main line, yeah. So, you know, when you're going towards Smethwick and beyond, you know, there's quite a lot of famous pubs, and you can go as you're going towards Tipton direction. Yeah, there's quite a few. Some of them have turned into new modern style pubs with grills and, you know, taken over and changed completely. But some are very traditional still. So yeah, you'll get to explore those when you're out on your walks.
Yeah. I feel like I've walked, well, it's only been 30 miles, but I feel like I've seen so much in just those 30 odd miles. And I've only stopped at 7 pubs as well. The best food I've eaten in those pubs though is that fish finger sandwich.
That fish finger sandwich, you're right. How great was that?
It was great.
It may have been a bridge in that section there where the wall ends there, and this section here where they've got the fencing. So you can imagine then you drive over, there was a road bringing you up here, and then there was a bridge, a metal bridge that you can drive across and get into the hospital through the rear entrance or the back entrance of that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, how long ago did that?
80s, I think it stopped in the 80s. I remember walking across it as a 5-6-year-old kid, so, you know, definitely around until the 80s, yeah. So Chris, you can see there's a couple of boats on the water there on that corner. They are called Bell boats, B-E-L-L boats, and they're designed as an introduction to paddling, a very safe, buoyant vessel that you can get 10 people on, work together as a team. So we work with the community here, and we, Canal and Rivers Trust, offer support for the community groups to come and do kayaking and bell boating here. There's a great community trust there called New Biggin Community Trust. We work together with them in partnership in getting people out on our water, and what a beautiful spot to be able to do it as well. Here, right heart of this urban area of Winston Green, Hockley, you've got this wonderful space, you know, playground for people to come out and enjoy. So yeah, and look how stunning it looks today. So on Wednesdays, if you're free, 2 o'clock, come down here and join the New Biggin Community Trust and do some paddling with them. So one's called the Climate Revolution, and the other one is the Spirit of Glasgow. It looks like it's been scraped out, hasn't it?
Someone didn't like the name Glasgow.
So maybe it was brought from the paddling club over there and rehoused here. But yeah, where we are now, you can just see through the gap the old lunatic asylum or the mental hospital of Birmingham. And just beyond here, you'll be able to see the grounds where I grew up and played as a child in this area. Football, cricket, play area, meeting your friends, socialising. This was our green space, our local green space. So yeah, wonderful memories of childhood. And all these houses that we passed through there now, they weren't here when I was a child. They were football pitches, so fields of pitches, and come along and kick a ball around and play and watch some of the older kids playing football there. So it's all changed now. Housing here, the lunatic asylum or the mental hospital closed down in the 80s. It's taken over by the prison services and it's used as offices there. Still a magnificent building. Do come and see it. A brand new mental health unit here called the Mary Seacole House, which is just there off the Lodge Road. And then a little bit further on you'll see the wall of the prison. So yeah, as a child these walls seemed really high and we were told not to climb over them and come on the canal, but they're very low now, aren't they? So
yeah. It's interesting the different perspectives you get as a child. I bet it was interesting growing up sort of by the psychiatric hospital there.
Yeah, so yeah, because there were many times you're playing and somebody would escape and then you get the staff running after that person trying to get them back in. So, you know, you'd hear people panicking, running around. We just carried on playing and they didn't bother us. We were on the field playing cricket and football, but yeah, happened often. Yeah.
Often?
Yeah, happened often. I remember as a child quite often people trying to escape the asylum. Where we're at now, Chris, also, you've got the Birmingham Black Country Wildlife Trust offices. So just behind that wall is a building that they use for their offices. And we've got a wonderful story about this boat called the Polly Roger. So there was a competition and I think it's an organisation called Hubbard. I might be mistaken, but you can search this. They collected plastics off the River Thames, made it into a wonderful boat that was then showcased around the country. Birmingham won the bid to host it in our city. Oh, okay. And it came to Birmingham to help us remove plastics off the water. So we used to bring community groups working in partnership with the Black Country Wildlife Trust here, Birmingham Black Country Wildlife Trust, and take them out with litter pickers and take plastics off the water. Isn't that full circle? That is, isn't it? Amazing story.
It's pretty
so unfortunately needs a little bit of love and care to get that back going. Hopefully we can get that back up and running and work with the Birmingham Black Country Wildlife Trust and bring more communities down here and use that. But our litter picking boat comes down here every week. We empty the bins, we take plastics off the water, and it's a beautiful stretch of canal maintained and cared for by the Canal and Rivers Trust.
It's good to see a lot of people probably wouldn't even think about all the work that goes into keeping it clean and tidy, and it really is. You know, I've hardly seen any, or maybe I haven't seen any litter as I've walked along today, and it's nice that people are maintaining these spaces.
Yeah, we hope communities do join us on litter picks, and often we bring community groups as well as corporate groups down to stretches of canal like this to do a clean-up day and help us, you know, for the nature and the wildlife, you know, right here by the Birmingham Black Country Wildlife Trust offices. You know, what a brilliant spot to do it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a plan in place, is there, to try and get that boat back on the?
I believe so. I believe so because unfortunately, recently had its engine stolen. So whether it's going to be we're going to be able to get that back up and running in the near future. I don't know, but yeah, they would know more. Birmingham Black Country who are housing that and, you know, keeping it in their mooring space there. So we're here by the Black History Monument, or the statue here, which was quite new. You know, it's a few years old, 2-3 years old. You know, commissioned by the Birmingham Arts Council, along with, you know, partners like the Birmingham Commonwealth Games, City Council, Active Wellbeing and Legacy, who are the main providers of this wonderful piece of art. So just shows some of the British Black history in the area. And, you know, we had on the launch, we had the first black conductor who's pictured there. We had a doctor here who's, image is based around her holding the baby, signifying all the important work that people from West Indies and the nations that came to help during the NHS back in those days when we needed the support, and they were here. And then that young child showing with his fist raised, intelligence of the young child, and sitting on the street sign at the back there called Marshall Street, because Malcolm X came to Marshall Street in the 60s when there was racial tension, and he came to help with that plight. Yeah, so this is a great piece of art here on our canals. We bring people down here. Black History Month is featured. We do walks with the Canal and Rivers Trust, so look out for them and join us. Yeah.
Is that the walls of the?
It's the walls of the prison. So if you want to film that.
Oh yeah, big walls.
But it's never affected anything here. Maybe once or twice as a child I remember incidents where inmates have escaped and they're sitting on the roof, and the news and the press were out there as they were walking back from school. But yeah, generally it was pretty good.
Yeah, and that's Winston Green Prison, right?
Yeah, Winston Green, which is Birmingham, His Majesty's Birmingham Prison now, as it's named. We've got this interpretation board that sort of shows what this area was about, right by the asylum bridge. So called asylum bridge because of the asylum, the lunatic asylum that was just on the right there. And people were brought in through this bridge. Prisoners were brought in under the bridge and then right into the prison. So this area is three things that happened here. You had the madhouse, as they referred to it, the bad house as a prison, and the workhouse, so the Union Workhouse. And here's a depiction of what that building used to look like here, what the prison entrance used to look like, what I remember as a child, the prison entrance being looking like, and then the lunatic asylum, which is still there. That wonderful building that I showed you earlier is still looking like a beautiful historic building that it is. So yeah, come down and see this, learn a bit more about the facts of the area. We're right in the other end of the loop now, so we started on the start on the main line. We've done all this section here and we're just here, but we will finish here at the Winston Green Junction where it joins the main line again. So the madhouse, the bad house and the workhouse.
I've really appreciated these information boards that the Trust have put around. I've seen quite a few of them out on my walks, and I always stop and have a read of them. And you know, even that must have cost a fair bit of money to commission these.
To commission these, and then to maintain them as well, because they often get vandalised. So, you know, vandal-proof kind of materials used on here as well, to keep that information for people like you as you're coming along and learning about where you are on the canal. Yeah, but it tells you information like, you know, 1829 the new main line was cut, and the 1769 is when the old one that started was being built. You know, was opened officially in this spot in 1772, because we went up there and we saw a little monument towards that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Just there on the bridge. So we're here at this historic spot. So it says here, canal opened in 1772. So over 250 years ago, the canal was opened here, and this was part of James Brindley's original main line canal. And we're at a very famous spot called the Asylum Bridge, named after the mental asylum, which this bridge led to in that direction there. So Norman Street Park leading into the canal and the Asylum Bridge. And at the Asylum Bridge, you have three different, well, there used to be three different bases. There was what's called the Madhouse, which is the lunatic asylum. Unfortunately, that was the name back then. We had the Bad House, which is the Winson Green prison, Her Majesty's prison, who's His Majesty's prison now, Birmingham, and then the workhouse. So people who were poor, couldn't afford to live here, they were housed all there. Some of them were poor and ill, and that was the workhouse. So all three shoved here, this side of Birmingham, left to their own devices. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the history, and we need to know. And then over here, Chris, if you come in a little bit closer, you see that bridge that we're going to walk over shortly?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the middle there's a tunnel bit. This is the boats used to bring the prisoners, and it used to turn a sharp right and go through under that bridge and go into the prison to offload all the inmates, right?
Ooh.
So yeah, back then, before the roads and the motorways, people were brought in on the boats here as well.
Sounds scary. Thanks for taking the time out to explain all this to me.
No worries. Like, look, you can see the reflection on this one a little, can't you? See that? And the bigger bridges, they look magnificent when the sun shines and the reflection off the water. It's like snake skin.
Yeah, it is mesmerising, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's very sunny. Right.
So what do you think, Chris, so far?
Loving the Soho Loop.
Is this somewhere you're going to visit again?
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely. There hasn't been any place on the canal network that I've been so far, and I know I've only done 30 miles, that I wouldn't come back to. And this is a particularly nice part of the network. I personally think it's even better than the actual main line just up there. So it's got its own character. It's like almost sealed off from the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely come back here. And I'd like to come and see the community centre that you showed me.
Yeah, Lodge Road Community Centre, yeah.
And possibly even have a go at the boating as well.
Yeah, you're welcome to join us anytime, Chris.
Cheers.
And we're going over the bridge where the prisoners were brought in under this here. And this is the prison right in front of you. So another historic spot on the Soho Loop.
It's interesting that the prisoners were brought in under this bridge.
Sealed up now, I think, but yeah.
Sealed to stop them escaping through the... It's like something on one of them prison films, isn't it, when they escape through an old tunnel that's been forgotten about.
Yeah. So there were a couple of pubs on here, but they closed down, unfortunately. Oh. They could have been the very old historic pubs as well, linked to the canal. Yeah.
It's a shame that they're disappearing, all the pubs, especially the old historic type ones.
Another bridge with the cutouts there.
Oh yeah, Winson Green Bridge. Here we are, back on the main line. You might recall on my previous video me stopping at this point and taking a shot down this way, saying that I was going to walk this loop with Taz, and I now have done that, and it's been a fantastic walk.
And that island now will have wildlife there, nesting birds, you know, it's a beautiful spot. But do you know what that was originally, back in the old days?
What was it?
Let's find out. There should be an interpretation board on the other side of this bridge that will help explain what this bit of land in the middle of the canal is. Look how beautiful it looks now.
Yeah.
And then look what it was before.
Oh wow, yeah.
So So this used to be a gauging station, as it says there. So every boat was designed certain width, certain weight, and when it was in the water you knew what the empty weight of the boat was. So then we can measure when it was full of cargo how much cargo's in there.
Oh, okay.
That way you can then charge people the tolls. So this was like a bit of a toll station, island toll house in Smethwick. Used to be right there in the middle of that. The boats used to come through and then stop here and then get weighed, and then they would have to pay their tolls. That would be written in this gauging book here, and that will all go back to the corporations that were making millions during the transport. Yeah, so very historic spot. And it tells you empty boat, as we call freeboard there, and then a heavy load, how much it sinks in. You can see how low it will sink into the water. So yeah, that's how it all worked. So great. You walked past this the other day and you hadn't realised.
Didn't even notice, just assumed it was just, I don't know, didn't even think about it. It's interesting that people worked there. That was their
that was their job. And there's an example of Mr. Charles Burdett gauging a canal boat at Hawkesbury Junction. So that's another junction in Coventry, but that's the type of thing you'd be doing here, working and measuring and making sure you're collecting what's owed.
I like the fact that even the smallest things that you walk past and don't even pay any attention to have this historic importance.
Yeah, everything, even the coping stones that you see on the edge of the canal, they're there for a purpose. I mean, there's one missing there, I can see, but most of the other ones are still intact, you know. And if this was built in 1829 by Thomas Telford, and they've been here nearly 200 years, it's amazing, right?
It's an old bridge, isn't it?
Yeah.
How worn it is.
This is what I was talking about, Chris. You see these? These grooves? These are all caused by ropes and traffic, boating traffic, all this. Look at that.
Wow.
So imagine how many horses have been through this spot, how many tons of cargo that they've been pulled through to cause that much groove on this metal structure.
Yeah, hundreds of years of it as well.
Yeah.
Wow, that is fascinating. Look at that, proper twisted up.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to the end of our walk today. We finished the Soho Loop and then walked a little bit further up the Birmingham Main Line, retracing my steps from the last video, to the point here where the canal presents an option to stick to the old canal route along that way, the original one, with all the locks and everything, or going that way, which is what we did in the last video, following the newer built part of the canal. Taz has kindly said that he'll come out with me to walk this part of the canal in a few weeks, so I'll make sure I film that for you.
It could be 2.5 miles to Swan Lane Junction, and we can get off at Swan Lane Junction. That would be a nice stretch to cover on the old main line. We'll talk about Samuel Galton, we'll look at the Galton Bridge from there, and we've got the Summit Tunnel there. You've got 3 locks, and you've also got the Engine Arm Aqueduct and the Engine Arm Aqueduct Bridge, which is a beautiful structure that you've already been under in your previous walk, but we can stop and talk a bit about that.
That sounds amazing, if you don't mind. I'm sure everyone who's watching will appreciate that as well. Very interesting stuff. All right, until next time, guys.
Bye.